A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video, but more on that later. Good morning and welcome back to our shipping container project. Today we are going to be doing a much needed kitchen update. It's Monday, 8 a.m. Current air temperature is about 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and Dana and Max have kindly agreed to leave the mountain for a couple days so I can get this kitchen fixed as quickly as possible. So for the next 48 hours, I'm gonna be doing some much needed kitchen improvements. I find now that the bulk of the work is done on the shipping container build that having little deadlines really helps just to get projects done a little bit quicker, and also so you don't feel like you're living in a construction zone 24/7. So yeah, sadly I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store to get this project started. So we'll do that and then we'll get into it. So the project has not even started and we've had a bit of a setback. And then I noticed there's a little leak right here. Basically we have these pipes connecting the shipping container so that I can run wires, and originally I had thought I would also be running air in between them to heat and cool, but I guess air is flowing through that big pipe. It's cooling outside the containers, causing condensation, and then water is backflowing into the container. So I removed two of the pipes, which we no longer need, and the pipe with the wires I'm basically gonna fill with spray foam and then potentially even drill a little hole in the bottom of that pipe so water can drip out in the event that somehow there's still water. I think I'm also gonna have to fix this problem in between the other two containers. So in between the bedroom and the kitchen there's pipes, and in between the kitchen and the office there's pipes. So I'm gonna cut the unnecessary pipes, remove them, and then fill that one necessary pipe with spray foam, seal it all so the wires still run through but no air flows through that pipe, and hopefully no water as well. Bit of a setback, but honestly it's really awesome to have discovered this problem now and not in the future with the mold issue. So there's no mold. I mean, the plywood is like a little stained, but otherwise we're in pretty good shape, and this should honestly be pretty easy to fix. Plus, lesson learned, thermal bridging, not fun. All right, things got a little crazy in here, but the leak is sealed. Spray foamed in there, gotta reassemble everything. All right, so it's a new day and I have a feeling today is gonna be significantly more productive than yesterday. I think the thing I wanna get started on first is building a new setup for our composting toilet. We had a pretty nice composting toilet in here for Dana and Max, but I just don't really like the process of emptying it. It's not easy to clean in any way. It's just like a very weird design. And because it's not easy to clean, I sometimes forget to clean it, and then it has a tendency to overflow, which is really, really gross. So I replaced that fancy expensive toilet with a bucket. Why doesn't it fit? There were only 2 ways to assemble the box. I assembled it the wrong way. Now I have to take it apart, get the nails out of there, cut one piece, and reassemble it. That took a crazy amount of time to build 2 boxes. I don't know what's going on with construction today. I had to remake this box 3 times. And this one I got on the first try, luckily, but looks pretty good. I'm just gonna think about how I want to trim it up. Also, if you're wondering why I didn't make it all flush everywhere, I just want everything to be removable in case we hate this system. So I didn't want to like screw into any of the actual interior build. So you remove that box pretty easily and that box, and it's just like a fully independent system. Also this way, in the very unlikely, hopefully never happening event that there's some sort of a spill, you can fully remove these boxes. So I'm just making dinner and I wanted to show you. This is the lighting issue in the kitchen. The camera actually makes it look way brighter than it is. So we have that set of lights over there and that looks really, really well. But I'll show you, let me change the ISO real quick. This is closer to the amount of light that actually exists in this corner. And when you're cooking on here, you can't really see what's going on too well in terms of like how done things are. So I think I'm going to install lighting up there to light that area. Good morning. So last night I finished building the bathroom setup, got it all trimmed up really nicely, and I think what I'm going to do today is set up this bedroom shipping container so I can varnish as I go. Kind of like clean out that area back there, set up a couple sawhorses, put a tarp down, and this is going to be my varnishing setup for the day. I have the wood stove cranking, and the varnish I have, you can recoat in an hour. So I want to try and get 3 coats on every surface on 3 separate pieces of, or no, 4 separate things that I'm building. So basically I think I need to start right now. It's like 7 a.m. with varnishing, and then I'll build alongside that. So every hour I can recoat. It's pretty high humidity and quite cold outside, so I can't varnish outside. But I think this is going to work really, really well. This is what it could be like.
Oh,
to. I don't
Do you think you could eat off that? Let me get you a bowl and see what you think. Did that work for you? Oh, yummy, yummy. What do you think?
Would this work?
Would this work? Dad is gonna build it, and so then what would we do?
You would sit here, and I would sit on the floor.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright.
Ta-da! All right, there we go. So we have a switch. We have this outlet, which powers the pump under the sink. And then I wired the pump to this switch, so you could turn it on and off. And then this switch here controls the outlet over here. Let's go check if that works. Does not appear on. There we go. Correct. Nice. Correct. So you got a USB and a USB-C charger, and then this whole thing can be switched off over there, which is really nice because you can leave this light on and then turn it on and off from that switch. All right, the light is done. It's a little modern, but I kind of love it. And you can use this remote to dim it, which is really nice. So at nighttime you can make it really dark. And then over here, this switch should control the light now. Oh, bummer. Oh, it just takes a second, I guess. It takes a second to react. Cool. Love that. And more importantly, I think Dana is gonna love it. So the construction phase is done. Now we just get to put everything away. And yeah, it's just that really satisfying moment of all the different things getting installed, everything finding its place. It's so funny, I thought this was gonna take 48 hours and it basically took double that. And you would think that over time I would learn that everything I build tends to take double the amount of time. And in the future, I would just double the build time. But I actually do double the build time when I think of a future thing. I think what ends up happening is I just have almost a delusional level of optimism and self-confidence in getting things done when I think they'll be done. And that's actually kind of awesome because I feel like if you didn't think things were gonna get done quickly, you might not start at all. And when you're building a lot of stuff back to back to back, it's nice to have at least the optimistic belief that it'll come together quickly. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is literally so nice in here. No surprise, obviously. We've spent think 4 days up here maybe. And he totally outdid himself. Between the lights and the table. I mean, look at this table. It's honestly, he hadn't totally figured out the design when we were chatting about it, but it just is so nice. It's so easy to use and elegant, and Max like loves it. But yeah, I just feel like, honestly, it's such a, I'm not sure if the word is luxury or like privilege or what, but I just feel so grateful, honestly, that Lou like builds our house, because when you're like inside a space like this, it has such amazing energy. Like it's just so peaceful. Like I walk in here to this kitchen and I feel like inspired to cook, and I feel inspired to like, you know, bring Max into the kitchen because it's like simple and easy. And that was even before. And so I think the thing that's so cool about having him design these spaces is that we can chat about the things that we need and he can just turn it into an actual usable thing. But then once we're actually in the space, it's like he doesn't say like, oh, it's done, whatever. He actually sees how Max and I interact in the space, and it's like, how can I improve their quality of life? And it's just such a beautiful thing to get to like be a part of, because, you know, little things like, oh, it's like tricky for me when it's dark and I'm trying to make dinner and I'm like putting up my cell phone flashlight and or using the battery powered lights and they go out because I forgot to charge them, and it's like, okay, like let me make her a light fixture. Or, you know, with the table, it was a little bit crowded having Max's learning tower and a high chair in here, and it's like when Max was like first starting solids, we did a lot of just like all of us eating on the floor, but then I found that actually having him in the high chair, it was like better for him at this like new stage of life. Like, you know, at the beginning he didn't like the high chair, but then now he like likes it, and so I'm like, it keeps him contained. I feel like he eats more food that way, and we can have like sometimes like a moment of like a normal civilized dinner. And so this is like so fun because I think it's gonna be even more interactive. Like we can like all sit at the table together, and now that we have an outlet over there and the light, so I feel like just a few minor tweaks, a few big days of Lou's effort, and the kitchen is even nicer to be in. And it was already my favorite room of our 3 rooms, so yeah, I feel lucky. Like the kitchen is a priority, and yeah, feels really nice. It's just so nice to be back up here. I honestly missed it. Like when I'm not here, there are obviously parts of life that are easier. You know, if I'm at my parents' house, I have a shower, I have laundry, I have my dishwasher, I have people helping me do stuff. But then when I'm up here, I just feel like I'm like a part of nature. I am in like such beautifully designed spaces. It feels like so free, and that's such a like luxury. And yeah, the contrast is like intense between the two worlds. I remember that always when we were traveling in the van too. Like if we would pull into a campsite, like, and you would go take a shower, it's like, oh, sweet relief. And then after a few days, you're kind of like itching for the road again, because like that connection to the elements is actually like really makes you feel alive. And that's kind of what I feel like up here. Like there's definitely parts of it that are way harder, but after I've been like rejuvenated with some showers and some laundry and stuff like that, it feels so nice to get back here and be immersed in spaces that make me feel inspired and make me feel like creative, and yeah, feeling good. I'm just like, oh my gosh, these two.
A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. As someone who builds a lot of stuff with their hands in the physical world, I can honestly tell you that building a website online with Squarespace is so much easier. I feel like there used to be a time when coding and all of that stuff was harder than building a box out of plywood, but that time is over. It's so rewarding to throw a bunch of images together, add some text, tinker to your heart's content. You can build things, you can undo them, you can build them in different ways. You can get it to run on a phone. It's just a really, really incredible process. And yeah, it's been a joy to build our website over the years and watch it grow, watch it connect with different people all over the world. And I would highly recommend it. If you want to build your own website or online store, head to squarespace.com/wildweroam for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks so much for watching this video. We will see you sometime soon.